Alright, every kid of the too young to be a 90s kid, but too old to relate to Jake Paul and Fortnite generation easily remembers Angry The gameplay was easy, the art style and premise was fun, and then they threw the game fucking overboard. Angry Birds, but it's like all the holidays and shit. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Angry Birds Rio, I'll remember that. Fucking Angry Birds, but it's Transformers. Oh, look, Angry Birds, but it's Star Wars. Angry Birds, but it's Feminist Edition. Angry Birds, but it's in fucking space. Angry Birds, but it's Mario Kart. How the fuck are they driving? They don't even have arms or legs. Angry Birds was pretty epic, and Sony, being the money-grubbing piece of shit company that it is, decided that they're gonna make an Angry Birds movie, which was announced in 2013, when it should have came out 2012, and then the movie came out itself in 2016. Even if there was a 3-year gap between the date of announcement, date of release, it felt like fucking forever. Like, remember the eating Tide Pods thing? That was only, like, the summer of 2018. God damn, that felt like that was a thing like 10 years ago. Then, they eventually made an Angry Birds movie, which nobody asked for at this point. I don't think anyone wanted to see, but people still saw, and people absolutely fucking hated it, but it made a shitload of money somehow, and then, yeah, the movie is a very unique type of fucking disaster. Alright, since the Angry Birds movie sucks pretty hard, there are so many things wrong with it, but the total amount of problems is just fucking insane, but it somehow manages to not be as bad as it could have been. The material that is given, don't get me wrong, it's still fucking awful, but it could have been way worse. But I don't think anyone actually likes this movie because, besides like retards and stupid kids. I saw this movie when I was 12 in the theater. I fucking hated it. Pretty much everyone I know fucking hates this movie. Like, even someone who would find Illumination funny, like your mom, for example, probably hates this movie. Nobody actually likes the Angry Birds movie. So, anyway, let's take another look at the Angry Birds movie, which I talked about previously, but we're gonna talk about it again. So we started with Red. So he's showing up as a clown at a children's birthday.
Oh, that's good stuff. Anybody want to eat some cake off their dad or husband?
Proceeds to murder a child and flashes ass, and then we get a montage using his shit. Shows random events in random order for some reason, which he has to go to bird court, and then he gets sentenced to anger management. Anyway, Red has to go to anger management, where we meet other characters such as CGI Josh, Chuck, lol, he's fast, and Bomb, hey, lol, he blows shit up and he's fucking fat. Oh, and Terrence. Oh, she's a fucking serial killer. This is the only good joke in the whole movie. Terrence's entire gimmick in the original games, he was like the retired hero that's had enough and his shit's about to go down. But I think actually making him like a recovering serial rapist was, that was actually pretty funny. The entire movie isn't shit like this. Anyway, the pigs show up and Red acts like a fucking racist.
Hey, look, they destroyed more of the stuff we worked hard to build.
And they introduce all this stupid shit that it's obvious where they're going with it, and then everybody loves the pigs, and then Red decides to sneak on the ship and is like 100% yeah, they're gonna destroy the island. They try to inform everybody, but nobody believes him because they think he's a fucking racist. And then Red's like, nah bro, the Mighty Eagle. And then, so Chuck, Bomb, and Red all go to find the Mighty Eagle, and none of this goes anywhere, and then we get the notorious, pissing scene. Okay, that could have actually been funny if they were in the lake while he was pissing, not directly out of it, watching him do it. Before this, we get all this stupid slow-mo and shit that looks fucking obnoxious. Like, it would have been funny if they were, like, sloshing around all the piss while it was happening, not after they realized that this is often where the piss is dispensed. Then they find the Mighty Eagle. Instead of the legend he once was, he's just some, like, fat fucking loser. And then they go back to the island, and then, oh no, the pig stole the eggs. Oh, Red was right. ride, holy shit. And then we get to Pig Island, where they actually reenact the game, and then halfway through this, they're just like, fuck it, and it just turns into bullshit happening, and it's so desperate for your child's attention. Everything's way too fast, you can barely tell what's fucking going on, like, oh, look at this, stupid reference, oh boy, another stupid fucking reference, oh boy, ripping off X-Men, oh, and then Red risked his life to get one egg, oh hey, that totally wasn't fucking stupid at all.
Oh, look, he's blushing. I'm not blushing, I'm just red.
You guys, the Angry Birds movie is actually a quality piece of entertainment. This movie fucking sucks. It's a 20-minute plot stretched out to 90 with some of the laziest and unfunny writing. It doesn't even feel finished. It's bad. It's a special type of bad where the absurd amount of problems allows it to not be as bad as it possibly could have been, but it's still fucking awful at the same time. The main thing about this movie that is actually good is the animation. As somebody who grew up with the Angry Birds series of shorts that you could watch on the app or whatever, it would be weird if they were just hopping around the whole movie, so I don't think they look bad with the arms and legs though. But the pigs kind of look disgusting. They are pigs. They have this really reflective rubbery texture that's something similar to the Minions. Anyway, it was a huge hit at the box office, even though everybody fucking hated it. In 2019, at the point where Angry Birds has been dead for like half a decade, we got a sequel to the Angry Birds movie.
I get lazy, everybody gotta get lazy. I get lazy, lazy.
Fucking writers.
I get lazy, everybody gotta get lazy. I get lazy, you get lazy, lazy.
Fucking writers. Hey, we'll actually try to make a good movie.
Really? Gotcha.
Now, there are two main plots in this movie. The plot of our main characters and the hatchlings plot. Now, let me talk about the hatchling plot. It kind of reminds me of another animated movie. Norm of the North 3.
Here comes the money.
Uh-oh, did somebody say Norm of the North? Oh yeah, that's my favorite movie franchise, the third installment. Yeah, Norm of the North, bitches.
No, but seriously, this entire fucking hatchling plot is really pointless, much like the wedding plot in Norm of the North, which is just pointless cutaway bullshit shenanigans where we get the hatchling, who were in the first movie, who were basically trying to be the Minions. You know, they got merchandise and a bunch of shorts like this one. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a worm? I thought that was the severed dick. Never mind. People like, oh, they're cute or something. Then they decide to make them main characters in this movie. And then they decide to reenact the events of the first movie, but then they lose the eggs, which are the unborn children, so Terrence and Matilda, who are fucking, yes. And no, they did not bring the Terrence is a serial rapist joke back, which would have actually been funny. And every 10 minutes or so, we just cut back to this unfunny bullshit. Look, the eggs are on a cloud. Oh shit, they're in space. Oh god, this better not be setting up an Angry Birds movie 3 where they bring back the Angry Birds space elements. Oh look, they're on an island. And then it's just awful filler to an already awful movie. None of it serves any purpose. They desperately try to tie it in at the end, but it's just fucking stupid. Then we get to the actual fucking plot. So we start out with the birds and the pigs doing unfunny bullshit shenanigans, which basically establishes that the birds and pigs hate each other, in case you forgot, because anyone that even knows what Angry Birds is knows that the birds and the pigs hate each other. That's fact. Oh, and then we get to Jojo Siwa's character in the movie. Okay, so I thought I was done talking about Jojo Siwa for a little bit until the realistic third season of the Jojo and Bobo show comes up, but yes, Jojo Siwa is in the movie. It's only a minor character, and it's only in a few scenes, but if I already hadn't done 2 videos on her, I probably wouldn't even address this. Like, Ian and Anthony from Smosh were in the first one, and same thing with Miranda Sings. They both reprised their roles in this one as well. I just didn't bother to address that because I didn't do any videos on these people that were specifically in it, and they're nowhere near as fucking annoying as her in this movie. But as someone who sat through all of her cartoon and recognizes her distinctly obnoxious fucking voice, it is infuriating every time she pops up. She's not in the movie a whole lot, but those seconds that she's in it fucking hurt.
I got it. Oh, no.
Get off the screen, you fucking whore!
On August 14th, there is a really cool movie coming out, and it's called Angry Birds, the movie 2. And I have a little announcement
To be honest, including Jojo Siwa in the movie is kind of a genius marketing strategy. I'm sure will encourage plenty of other shitty animated movies to do this. Like, I'm sure a lot of stupid children saw this movie because Jojo Siwa was in it. Also, a great reference, Jojo. I bet every child in the audience understood that. But we learned that there is another island of birds terrorizing both and was established never. Get a shitty crew together, which just does nothing but waste a bunch of time. Like, we have tons of new and old characters joining the shitty crew. But we have the Silver, Chuck's, like, sister, which he has and was also never established at all. We have the shitty romance subplot with her and Red, which is leading to just tons of awful jokes. Other stupid and pointless characters like Gary, I think is his name. Yeah, this guy on the... Yes, this is the actual fucking poster for the movie. I did not Photoshop this. This is the actual poster for the movie. Courtney, I think is her name. I legit could not remember it. I think they only say it like once or twice in the movie. I had to Google it. You know, like Courtney, like the girl from Total Drama. Karen took the kid.
Why the fuck would you not let Harold scream the N-word? That would be epic.
Anyway, they just discover that the third island exists, and then they realize that it's an island full of ice eagles. And no, they're not like a species full of the ice birds from Angry Birds Space, which would actually be good fan service. Just some random ass fucking eagles that no one gives a shit about. Which gives a good explanation as to why the mighty eagle was the only eagle that they were ever aware of. Well, turns out he's just from a different place that never heard of, and he also somehow never fucking mentioned at all. But then we learn that the mighty eagle used to be engaged to like the fucking evil Nazi dictator of the Bird Island. And then we get this stupid fucking 90s flashback scene, which is beyond confusing to the narrative because the movie portrays him as this is something that happened like centuries ago, but then this flashback goes to the 1990s, which, like I said, is confusing because he's a teenager in the scene. So let's say he was born in the early 80s, which would make sense if he was in high school in the late 90s. Obviously, he wasn't some ultra-powerful legend in high school because that's fucking stupid. So when was like his glory days? When was all the shit that he's renowned for supposedly happened? Would that be in like the 2000s, you know, when like the game was actually a thing, maybe? So of course this brings up the question, okay, well, we don't know Red's exact age or whatever, or, you know, his biological parents that we don't know of, that I'm sure, oh, Angry Birds movie 3, the villain is really his parents or something, oh no, which I'm sure they're just waiting to use that plot device for something. But like, I'm pretty sure, since it's established that he was a teenager in the 90s, that his biological parents or him would have been alive when he did all this shit. But then we get to the actual heist of the movie, which is just so desperate for your child's attention. It's so fucking lame. It thinks it's cool, but it's actually not. It's just fucking stupid and not funny at all.
Taking us out, man!
Even Glenn's having a good time. Baby shark, baby shark, baby shark, baby shark.
Silver, baby sharks have taken the bait.
Roger that.
Oh yeah, including Baby Shark in the film. That totally won't make your movie already immediately fucking dated, and it also totally isn't fucking stupid at all. Also, why did JoJo's hatchling and the fucking eagle over here, why do they have the exact same voice?
Even Glenn's having a good time.
I think they just left the mic on, and then they're like, oh shit, we could actually include that, because we want to give Jojo Siwa more to do, but we can't give her an actual important role in the story because she's a fucking terrible voice actor. And anyway, they successfully stopped the fucking Nazi dictator bird from causing 9/11-2 on both the islands at once. Then her and the Mighty Eagle decide to get back together, and then they get married, and presumably in the span of a few hours. Also, he has a daughter for some reason. They, like, build Mount Rushmore, but with all the characters' fate, presumably in real time. Like, how'd you build that in, like, the span of a few hours? That's fucking stupid. Then Red and Silver are together now. Yay. Oh, fucking kill me. Then the Angry Birds movie 2 is a weird one. It's still not the worst movie ever category. Like, most people I talk to don't even know that there is a second Angry Birds movie, probably because the first one's reputation was so bad that nobody wanted to watch the fucking second movie, even if they actually gave a shit and tried to make a good movie. Yeah, but some people actually kind of like this one for some reason, and hey, even people that hate the original one actually do like this. Not a whole lot of people have seen it. It was nowhere near successful. Still made money. There's still probably going to be an Angry Birds 3. We have no official confirmation, but I'm just hoping that there never is one. Look, it even got a 73 on Rotten Tomatoes. I was really shocked when I saw that. That's better than Porn Star, The Legend of Ron Jeremy, which got
Anyway, there's one thing we can all do, is that we can all be good Christians, and for one thing, probably turn off this fucking video And also, pray that there is never an Angry Birds 3. Anyway, I'm Dr. Henry, and I'm signing off.